All right, this is part 3 of the 2022 National PSA submission for vintage cards. I'm pretty happy so far with how the consistency on the grades, and pleased that it looks like I'm getting a bump for centering and eye appeal, which I know people have been critical, myself included, of PSA's graded on vintage with how they've been doing it in the past. So the paperwork out of the way there. Got a nice group here to start the third video. All right, starting with a nice one. Let's see. This is a 1981 football Joe Montana rookie. Looking on my list of what I was projecting on this. Okay, I was projecting a 6 on this one. Trying to remember where I picked this up. I'll have to check my notes. I'm not quite sure where I picked this one up, but I was projecting a 6. I know they seem to be tough on Montana cards. There's a lot going on with the fronts, with the sharpness of the colors in the front, and centering, of course, with the 81. So this one I was projecting a 6. 8. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, the centering top to bottom. I'll take it. This is... my patience has been rewarded with how long this order took. 8, I was projecting a 6, so that's tremendous. Okay, now this is another card that when I saw it, I thought grading. This is going to be worth grading. And the dealer I bought it from at the National in 2021, he used to be a former grader for SGC. He just said, a lot of the stuff he had at that National just didn't have the patience. That's when all the grading companies were so backed up. But he felt it would come back an 8. After looking at it myself, I thought 7 or an 8. Great centering on the front. So again, I was projecting a 7 or an 8. A 1971 Gordie Howe came back an 8. Yeah. It's great. And when you buy cards from a former grader who, he's going to have a good sense of where it should come in. So that's great. 8 on that. Oh, nice start to part 3. Okay, this one. They say you can't find anything on Craigslist. So there was an ad on Craigslist, 2019, I think, and just early 80s baseball. He had been a collector as a kid and had a lot of early 80s sets, some factory sets, and some 85 Donruss factory sets, and 81 through 85, I think, is what I picked up. Nice condition sets. And then he had a shoebox of odds and ends, and he threw those in as well. Just wanted to get rid of everything. And so in the shoebox, when I got home, going through the bubblegum helmets and pins and buttons and all that kind of thing, there were some minor league sets in plastic baggies, sealed. Tape had never been taken off this, the 81 Rochester Red Wing set. I mean, it was amazing. My eyes lit up when I saw that. I said, oh my goodness. So opened it up. Obviously the first time it had been opened. And so on this one, let's see what I was projecting. This one I was projecting a 9. I don't usually project that, so I must have had nice centering, nice corners, under magnification. So on this one I got a 9. There it is. Great card. Icing on the cake. The deal was great even before that, so I'll take that. Okay, this is another card from that collection I bought from my coworker, 74 Mike Schmidt. one of my favorite cards. I love the way this card looks. Picked up one at the 2018 National, a graded one, but this was in the collection. It looked nice, so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and grade that too. This card, for some reason, it seems like it has a lot of like fish eyes and ink spot issues on the ones that I've seen over the years, and tough for centering as well. On this one, I was projecting a 7. Whoa. Whoa. That's a big card. And a 9. I've kept my eye on these over the years. That's going to be a big card. Definitely one of the upcharges. Wow. Wow. That's the card of the issue. Wow. Or the submission. Wow. There's the fisheye. Ooh. That's going to be the first card I look up values. Wow, I thought a 7 on that one. 9. Wow, well, definitely part 3 is the strongest yet. So, moving on, same collection, 1974 Parker rookie. I think there was a couple of these I submitted. And on one of them, I was projecting a 6. On the other, a 5 or a 7, and it had a stain on the front of some kind. So first Parker rookie, it's got some centering issues on the back, so this was probably, well, we'll know when we flip it, because the one that had the stain on the front. So either a 6 or anywhere from a 5 to a 7 on the other. 7. Is there a stain there anywhere? Wow, okay, so this must be the one I thought would be a 6. So 7 on that, that's a win. Yeah, centering, yeah, that's probably what I thought would be a little bit lower. But certainly nice corners. You know, when you get collections from people who had them when they were a kid, what I found is the ones that are older, this collection ran from 68 to 75, and the ones that were older, you know, the 68s were really beat up. 69, same thing. And then around 71 to 72, the conditions started getting nicer. And I think it's they don't get handled as much. They go right into the shoebox after they're opened. And then, you know, at 75, the guy just lost interest in cards, and those were really sharp. So just something I've noticed over the years when I get collections from the people, you know, original time they hit the market, when they had them as a kid. That seems to be a common thread. Next up, one of my favorite cards over the years, the 75 O-Pee-Chee Brett. Love Canadian baseball. This one I got at Chantilly show maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Off-centered, but a sharp card, and I think I don't think they put qualifiers anymore. Certainly wouldn't want a qualifier, but this one, I was thinking, as nice as the corners were, I was hoping for a 7 without a qualifier. So 75 O-Pee-Chee Brett rookie came back a 7. Fantastic. Consistent. And I paid up for that one, so happy that it came in what I was projecting. Really nice color. And those 75 O-Pee-Chees. Nice corners. Yep. Section 3 here is by far the best. Okay. Next up is a really tough card to find centered. Just a premium attached to a centered 76 Brett. People who are really into centering know that. There was a dealer at the Philly show who had, I think I picked up 2 of these, but this is the first one. 76 Brett. Let's see here. One was nicer than the other. I was thinking a 7 on one of them, and then a 5 to a 7 on the other. Still had some centering issues, but the borders on it are so tight that I thought it had a chance maybe for a 7, but 5 or a 7 on one of them and a 7 on the other. First one came back an 8. Whoa. What's going to be a big card too? Wow. Yeah, an 8 on a 76 Brett is, that's tremendous. Yeah. Wow. Real pleased with this submission. Worth the wait. Okay, the next card up is again from that collection, Coworkers collection, another Parker rookie. As a kid who grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, the Cobra was a superstar to us. So like the Parker rookies, and so the first one got a 7, and this must be the one with the stain on the front. I was thinking either a 5 or a 7, kind of gave a little bit of variance there, just because I didn't know how they were going to handle that one. Whoa! Whoa! Not expecting that. And there's the stain on the bottom left. It is a beautiful card though. Just the focus and the bright yellow, centered, sharp corners. Oh my goodness. That's the second card I'll look up. Yeah, again, these are not the kind of condition I typically collect, so wow. Wow, 2 9s on 74 tops. This may be the best little run here of cards that I've ever gotten back on a PSA submission. My opinion of PSA and vintage has changed. They must be listening on their end as well, just from what people are saying, or just kind of, wow, this is something else. Next up is a card that I picked up at Bel Air Sports Cards in Maryland maybe a year ago. Just a nice 77 O-Pee-Chee. They picked up a collection there, quite a bunch of O-Pee-Chees, 70s O-Pee-Chees, and unfortunately they're pretty much gone now. I went back up there 3 weeks ago, and they had pretty well been gone over. But here is a 77 Ryan Record Breakers, an 8. And right as I was projecting an 8, I have 2 of these on my list, and I had them both as an 8. So sorry I didn't give the projection on this one, but came in right what I was thinking. Beautiful centering. Nice card. Bottom left, bottom corner's just not as sharp as the top one, so it's probably why I was thinking 8. So real happy with that. And here is the other 76 Brett. So the first one I was projecting a 7, and it came back an 8. This one I had put OC front, so the centering not as good on the second one, and I had said either 5 or a 7 on this one, just with no qualifier. So 5 or a 7, and I got another 8. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Another 8. It's 1975 Morgan. This is another one from my coworkers' collection, and this one was really nice. This is another one, kind of when the first thing that pops into my head, grade it. That's definitely what came to mind with this one. 75 tops. I know with the borders that they're really tough on that for the corners, and it was well centered, nice color, nice focus. So on this one, I was projecting an 8. And again, this is just going by the current standards that I have been used to with PSA since they've gone to the Lighthouse hologram. So 8 is what I was projecting, came back an 8. There you go. Yeah, the 75 Reds, Hall of Famers are sought after, just for team collectors as well as set collectors. So beautiful card. Centered Morgan. Right as projected, an 8. Wow. Next up, a 75 Topps Brett rookie. So we had the O-Pee-Chee earlier. This is the 75 Topps Brett. And on this one, you can see the centering there on the back. It's projecting a 7 on this one, and it came back a 7. We got a 7 on the O-Pee-Chee Brett as well. So happy with that. And then the bookend on the 75 Topps, the Yount rookie, and I had projected this one a 7 as well. Came back an 8. Ooh. It's another upcharge. They're kind of falling into place. It's funny, when I received the email for that, I kind of went through on my own and highlighted the ones that I thought had a chance to be the upgrade cards, but I'm missing the ones that it came in. It's not what I had expected, so I'm very happy with that. So an 8 on the Yount. Next up is a toughie, a 79 O-Pee-Chee Aussie rookie. O-Pee-Chee's, this was another card pickup from the Chantilly show a few years ago. I think it was the first one at a shutdown. And I was projecting a 7 on the Aussie rookie. 8. Wow. Fantastic. That's a toughie. That's fantastic. This, without a doubt, this is just the best run I've had on a PSA submission before. This is just hitting it. Next up, 77 O-Pee-Chee Brett. This was a nice card I picked up years ago. My concern was just how they're going to treat that back border. It cuts it awfully close on the bottom there, but just a sliver of space there, so I'm hoping for some leniency on this one. I was projecting a 5 or a 7, and I put the back, if they consider it miscut, I'm probably looking at a 5, but if they don't, and then get some leniency on the back, then it should do better on the grade. So 5 or a 7, it came back an 8. Wow, there's my answer. That's tremendous. Definitely, again, hits all the marks. I picked this one up years ago at the Philly show when it was still in Fort Washington from a dealer who was down from Canada and had used, set up taking part of a table of his friend. And yeah, I went to town on the Stars Hall of Famers from his O-Pee-Chee baseball that he brought. It's a beauty. Very pleased with that. There we go. Next up, 1974 Parker O-Pee-Chee rookie. So unbelievably 3 Cobra rookies in this order. 74 O-Pee-Chees are probably one of the toughest O-Pee-Chee baseball issues. I had heard that there may have been a strike with the printer that year to keep production down, but for whatever reason, they are tough. And there was a dealer at the Philly show a few years back who had just come back from Canada. He's a hockey dealer, and had picked up a handful of baseball, O-Pee-Chee baseball from the 70s, and this was in the stack, and I bought the majority of them. we worked out a great price on the lot. And again, this is one that I wanted to, out of the pile, one of the top ones that I wanted to submit. Cobra Rookie 74 O-Pee-Chee. I was projecting a 5 or a 6, and I had underlined the 6. So the centering, because these are usually so off-centered, I thought they might give me some leniency or a little bit of a bump for the centering to a 6. But 5 or a 6 came back a 7. Nice. Nice. So they really did give a nudge for the centering on that. Real happy with that. Okay, the next card is one that I bought off eBay, raw, from a dealer, Dean's. I don't do a lot of business with them. Their prices are usually, on the higher side. I mean, they do have quality cards, and they always, stock a good inventory. But this is one that I picked up. It looks so nice on the front. They had graded it high on their level, and I paid high on it. So, like the image, Willie's last card, and it was well centered and presented real well. I think they were selling it as a near mint. I take that with a grain of salt. I was thinking, let me see what I was projecting on it. I was projecting a 5 or a 6. So I'm much more realistic just with the backs on these. But it did have nice centering, and so far on this submission, they've really been giving me a nice bump for centering. So yeah, the 6 was underlined on this, so projecting a 5 or a 6 with the 6 underlined, came back a 7. Nice. Just a beautiful card. Next card is 77 O-Pee-Chee Ryan. This is the second Record Breakers card from that submission, Bel Air Sports Card pickup. Let's see where it is on my list. So again, I was projecting an 8 on this one. I was projecting an 8 on the other one and got an 8, and projecting an 8 on this one as well, and received a 9. Yep, it has nicer corners. The 8 had soft corners in the bottom, but this is pretty consistent all around. Beautiful centering. A little flake of something there on the front, dust. That's probably an upcharge card. I'm not sure. Haven't priced one of those, so don't know. But yeah, this easily the best run on a submission I've ever had to PSA, ever. And I've been submitting since shortly after they started. I remember being at a show at Chantilly. I think Steve Rocchio was going around the room to dealers talking about grading, what it was, offering free grades for them just to try their service. So I was early on PSA. Next up is a 59 Aaron. This was another national pickup from 2021. It was a dealer from Ohio, same group I got the Clementes, the 58, 59 Clementes, and Frank Robinson from. So this is the Aaron, 59 Aaron. I was projecting a 4. Yeah, these all had, they had been handled. I can see the corners in the back of this one. But if I remember correctly, it had nice centering, projecting a 4, got a 4. Nice. The other thing I'll say, all of these holders have been perfect. No scratches, just all crystal clear. And that didn't used to be the case with PSA. So I must say, the packaging and, how they pay attention to the holders now and are careful with them. These look really nice. So happy with that. And that Aaron right at projection is a 4. And then we'll end here and then start with the final part of this submission.